Sean Carroll. This was at New Orleans Baptist, actually. But it seemed to me that Carroll was conceding that the scientific evidence, in a way, points to design. The problem is the problem of evil. The problem is evil. That when we look at the world that we see, this doesn't suggest a good, all-powerful God, which is, I find that so very interesting, because then it's not a science issue. It's a philosophical issue, because the problem of evil is not a science issue, it's a philosophical issue. And I got to ask, there's a guy, his name's Luke Barnes, who's a Christian. I think he does physics, and he's sort of a younger guy, but doing lots of really good work. And he's just written a book on these issues, and he's sort of like beginning to be looked at as a leading expert on fine-tuning issues. He did a book with another atheist where they kind of go back and forth on what fine-tuning points us to. It's a bit more scholarly, but it's good. And I asked him, I said, sounds like what you're saying is, because the guy wasn't there in his presentation, he was just presenting to, I think it was UTA or someplace, but anyway, he made all his presentation, giving both sides of it, and said, but this is the reason why he came out being a Christian on it. He gave those reasons. And I said, it looks like what you're saying is both of you have the science well worked out, and it shows how exceedingly improbable life is and so on. But it sounds like it comes down to the problem of evil. And he said, that's exactly it. That's what divides us. The science is in good shape. The science points us to a designer, but the stumbling block is the problem of evil, is that you look at the universe and you see lots and lots and lots of death and destruction and extinction and so on. But the argument itself shouldn't imply, it seems to me, a perfect design. In fact, so long as we have a thesis to explain why there's death and decay, which we do on Christianity, then we should be fine. Right? In other words, if we can address the fact that there is sin and evil and decay and destruction and so on and fallenness, which is just part of the thesis of Christianity, then we're in good shape, sort of theologically speaking. All right, so that to me is huge. Like, in other words, if Sean Carroll's saying this and Luke Barnes, opponent in this book, says it just all comes down to the problem of evil and we can address the problem of evil, then we just look to the science, and the science points us straight away, it seems to me, to there being a God. Okay, we're out of time, so we'll break it off there. But I think that's a powerful argument.